See you, people. Thank you.
Tonight in 7 News, arrested on the border, a man takes off from Gold Coast Airport to escape COVID testing and a warrant.
A woman's madness over masks as Victoria's COVID crisis deepens. More than 500 new cases.
One man in hospital, another in court after a bizarre case of mutilation at a Brisbane backpackers.
Logan's Hoon vigilantes, the neighbourhood catching drivers on security cameras and seizing their cars.
Less pain, quicker recovery, the breakthrough cataract surgery giving Queensland seniors their sight back.
And a rock star in the making, creating waves on the Gold Coast.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Sharyn Ghidella and Max Futcher.
Good evening. A man has gone to extreme lengths to avoid COVID testing, running from police after landing at the Gold Coast Airport on a flight from Sydney.
It comes as Queensland tightens its border restrictions further. The Premier today announcing she won't hesitate in closing the border completely.
Marched up the beach to a waiting police car. A 24-year-old man from Sydney is arrested after bolting from Gold Coast Airport.
Jumped a few fences, he was on a roof. It was pretty wild for a Monday morning.
The man smashed his way into Peter Lapska's apartment, stealing a watch and an outfit to disguise himself.
Opened my door and then there's the broken shutters, windows, clock, couple of watches, a shirt, pair of jeans, pair of Nikes.
Michael Herrick lives next door and heard it all happen.
I heard some glass break. I didn't know exactly where it was. I thought it was a mirror or something getting broken next door.
Apparently he has previous charges that he's facing, so he's the unlucky one. I'm happy, it's okay.
The desperate bid to escape authorities comes as restrictions tighten further at the Queensland-New South Wales border.
Lots of jams. I keep missing the exit.
Something's got to change, eh?
Fairfield declared New South Wales' latest hotspot, joining Campbelltown and Liverpool. It means more than 600,000 people from 104 Sydney suburbs are now locked out of Queensland.
Please go online, please update your border declaration, please monitor the news about new hotspots being declared.
Since July 3, 1 million border passes have been applied for. 2,200 people have been turned around at Queensland borders, many desperate to move north. Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk says she won't hesitate in declaring a hard border closure with New South Wales if case numbers continue to rise.
Every single day we are monitoring what is happening in New South Wales. That is what Queenslanders would expect me to do.
In New South Wales, there are 17 new cases. A Change.org petition gaining around 7,000 signatures, calling for the border to close completely. The government so far resisting the call, but reinforcing its message with a new campaign.
We must take social distancing seriously or risk undoing all our hard work.
Queensland, the place to be. Tonight at the border there have been some minor delays, but for the most part traffic is flowing freely. As for the 24-year-old who tried to evade police, 7 News understands he was on a return to prison warrant and further charges will be laid this evening before he's returned to New South Wales.
Isabel Mullen at Coolangatta. The crisis is deepening in Victoria with 532 new coronavirus cases reported. The death toll is up by 6. Including 5 victims in aged care. Proof no one is immune, a baby testing positive in a new cluster at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital.
Rarely are so many captivated by mathematics, but every morning, numbers are what Victorians care about most.
There are 8,696 coronavirus cases in Victoria, that's 532 new.
Including a baby and 3 others inside the neonatal intensive care unit at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital. 532 is not just another record, it is 10% higher than the previous record, despite lockdown, despite face masks, and most of the numbers are going the wrong way.
There are 245 Victorians in hospital and 44 of those are receiving intensive care. 4,542 total active cases, 683 active cases connected in some way to aged care, 400 health workers who are active cases.
6 died overnight, 5 from nursing homes.
We know, with the number of new infections that we have seen today, that there will be many further deaths in the days ahead.
Epping Gardens has spiked from 1 COVID case a week ago to more than 70. Sam Agnello's elderly mother is among them.
She says, no matter how many times I call the button, nobody comes.
It's really distressing for everybody. Sorry.
Victoria's government is subsidising those who can't afford not to work, with one important message.
You can't go to work if you feel sick even mildly.
There are no immediate plans for the southwestern country town of Colac to become Victoria's third region to lock down, despite 47 cases there linked to an abattoir.
I've been here 77 years and I haven't seen it this bad.
Computer modelling suggests today could be the peak. The experts hope those numbers do add up. Robert Ovadia, 7 News.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he's determined to keep Australia on a path out of the economic crisis. He's directed his COVID Commission to identify much-needed job opportunities, appointing 6 new members, including a former Labor power broker.
He marshalled the union numbers to blast Kevin Rudd from the Prime Ministership, one of Labor's faceless men.
We think that Julia Gillard is the best option to lead Labor to victory.
Now, a new face on Scott Morrison's COVID Commission.
I've known Paul for many years.
But Mr Howes, now a partner of professional services giant KPMG and the Liberal Prime Minister, haven't always seen eye to eye.
We certainly haven't always agreed on everything, as he and I can attest to. But what this is about is getting people to work together.
The COVID Commission, formed to advise the government on its pandemic response, refocusing now on the path out, with 6 new appointments, experts on small, medium and large businesses looking at ways to get hundreds of thousands back to work.
To create as many new jobs as we can, as well as restoring old ones.
The government had aimed to have 850,000 people back in work this month. The outcome, just 210,000. The COVID Commission will have its work cut out for it and will do it in secret. Its advice now deemed cabinet in confidence, leaving many questions.
What jobs will be made? What jobs will be saved? What money's being spent? There's no accountability, no transparency.
Another reason Labor says the Parliament should be recalled in a COVID-safe way. Mark Riley, 7 News.
And later in the bulletin, anti-mask madness. We tracked down the woman dubbed Karen from Bunnings. Her refusal to wear a mask went viral, so what did she have to say today? Don't miss that story, coming up shortly. A severe weather system continues to lash the east coast, flooding properties and threatening to swallow coastal homes. In the southeast, the worst has passed, but high winds hung around, making life blustery on the coast.
After a wild weekend, the Gold Coast glittered again. Blue skies burned over the waves, but strong winds made a beach walk hard work. The signs of record-breaking rain now washing out to sea. Murky brown waters created by Sunday downpours close to 150 millimetres in more than a dozen suburbs. Helensvale had 4 times its July average in one day. Today, the system that delivered it did damage to the south. The east coast low pounded the New South Wales central coast and homes perched precariously above the beach.
I have neighbours texting me now, running to their houses, watching more of their yards slipping into the ocean.
Margaret Bryce and other owners along this stretch of the coast at Wamberal waiting to see if their houses survive.
It's extremely frustrating.
As it was last night for many in Newcastle, a torrential burst of rain flooding streets and homes.
I could feel the water coming up under my feet.
This bus became stuck. 9 children had to be rescued from rising water. The east coast low now has Sydney in its sights. Joel Dry, 7 News.
Now to Tony Auden. And Tony, which areas saw the strongest winds today?
Well, Sharyn, it was an even spread right across the southeast as that dry and cold air moved up from down south. Here are the strongest gusts. Gatton led the way on 61 k's an hour, with Cape Morton, the Gold Coast Seaway, Brisbane Airport and Double Island Point all not far behind on 59 k's an hour. How long will these winds hang around? I'll be back soon with the forecast.
Thanks, Tony. He was once one of the richest people in the country. Now, former Gold Coast property tycoon Craig Gore is on trial, accused of defrauding superannuation funds worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He used to appear on rich lists. At one point, Craig Gore was worth an estimated $180 million at a time when the high-flying Gold Coast property developer owned an IndyCar team. Now the 53-year-old is facing the possibility of jail if convicted of fraud. He's fighting 12 charges in the district court relating to almost $800,000 from self-managed super funds. Gore was charged in 2017 after an investigation by ASIC. It's alleged he conned investors into transferring their super funds into debt-ridden companies Arian Financial and Arian Property in 2013 and 2014. The court heard he would allegedly say the big dollars were not far off, despite knowing the companies were in a precarious financial position. Former Virgin Australia pilot Scott Bruce gave evidence, saying he and his wife invested $25,000 but never received any of it back. Gore allegedly used the money to pay creditors, and at times the court heard he used the money for personal expenses like his rent. More alleged victims and an investigator from ASIC are expected to testify this week. Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
A bizarre mutilation at a Brisbane backpackers has put one man in hospital and another behind bars. As Elliot Chipper reports, the alleged victim was a willing participant.
Police and paramedics were called to the room of a city hostel on Saturday night where they allegedly found a 26-year-old Sydney man with part of his genitals removed. It's alleged he had arranged to be castrated by an electrician, 27-year-old Ryan King of West End. Now, 7 News understands police will claim they found more body parts in a kitchen freezer when they searched King's apartment. King's parents were in court today when he appeared via video link on a charge of act intended to maim. He was remanded in custody and will reappear next month.
Clubbers are warned if social distancing isn't kept up, further restrictions, even closure, could be forced upon hotels and entertainment venues. This weekend, enforcement teams will be out in force, making sure COVID-19 distancing rules are obeyed.
Risky behaviour is threatening to turn these welcome back signs into closed.
It's challenging. Yes, definitely with the rule changes happening, so quickly.
And we've had a lot of reports of people not doing the right thing.
So sitting-only rules for pubs are back in force.
Follow the rules and then at least everyone can be safer.
One Toowoomba hotel venting its anger at short notice for the change that started on Friday, 3 days after Jason Hurt took over the Elephant Hotel in Fortitude Valley.
You've got to move quickly and be nimble to fit in with what's happening.
If the rules are broken, hotels will again face closure. 968 venues were checked for compliance in the past weekend. No infringement notices were issued. But police warn the compliance team will again be out in force this weekend. It will be a challenge, with hoteliers reporting patrons are confused.
This felt like a restriction without a reason, and that's probably the feedback we got from most members.
As many fear another full closure.
Long term, that's going to eventually have disastrous effects.
Trying to make it work, reality for many. Steve Titmus, 7 News.
A major blaze has destroyed a home at Sunnybank Hills this afternoon. Emergency crews were called to reports a 2-storey house was on fire around 2:45. The blaze was so intense, the roof on the second level partially collapsed. No one was injured.
Thousands of workers left unemployed in the southeast are being urged to relocate to the outback to help fill a skills shortage. For the first time, more than 20 Western Queensland mayors have met in Longreach, demanding better support.
At the Longreach Motor Inn, they're out of staff.
Anyone looking for a job, Longreach is screaming for it at the moment.
Lifting restrictions, reviving business and tourism, but not workers.
We went from having barely nothing going on to everything happening and just no staff to cover all the bases.
Now the bush wants southeast workers left unemployed from the pandemic to head west.
Our biggest challenge is attracting skilled
staff. Engineers, CEOs, accountants, all that sort of, all those positions, we struggle.
21 Outback mayors meeting in Longreach, forming a new power base.
We've all got the same issues in our regions, and collaboratively we can achieve more as a group.
The new Western Queensland Alliance of Councils, stretching from the Gulf to the southern border.
We don't want anyone to forget that we are out here contributing a lot to the state and national economy.
I think the Palaszczuk government's been a great friend of Western Queensland.
But road upgrades are a key demand.
We just seem to be forgotten lately. There's been no money come to us.
$100 million has funded local projects in the 21 councils, but the state says it must be realistic with such small populations, even if they have big positives.
Our biggest attraction at the moment is we're COVID-free.
A timely sales pitch, no bull. Patrick Lyon, 7 News.
Traffic flows have been changed in Brisbane's CBD by the Cross River Rail project. From midnight last night, Albert Street was closed between Charlotte and Elizabeth Streets. The long-term closure will allow work to begin on the Albert Street train station. It's expected to be finished by 2024, but Albert Street should be reopened to cars or green space a year earlier. Hollywood has lost one of its last original leading ladies. Veteran actress Olivia de Havilland dying at the age of 104. A natural on screen and last surviving Gone with the Wind star also took on the studios, changing actors' rights to this day.
Yes, Scarlett. In Hollywood's golden era, Olivia de Havilland was one of the brightest stars. Already on the rise when Gone with the Wind was released, after her role as the calm, sweet Melanie Wilkes, she was famous.
Oh, Scarlett, you have so much life. I've always admired you so. I wish I could be more like you.
She would go on to win 2 Best Actress Oscars for her powerful performances in To Each His Own.
You don't think I'm going to leave him there, do you?
And The Heiress.
Is that the song?
A force on screen, she was fierce behind the scenes, taking on the studio system that penalised actors for rejecting roles. The landmark legal victory, still known as the de Havilland Law.
No actor ever took a suspension. It was such a frightening thing to do.
She shot 49 films over 6 decades, a career that enticed honours from the President and the Queen. Her personal life just as dramatic. A legendary rivalry with her younger sister and fellow actress Joan Fontaine became a bitter public feud.
It's about struggle and it's about survival, and those are themes familiar to everyone.
In the late 50s, she moved to Paris and called it home until last night, when she died peacefully in her sleep. Olivia de Havilland was 104. In Hollywood, Amelia Brace, 7 News.
Brotherly love may be turning bitter in the royal family as the Megxit row rages on. Next, have Harry and William cut ties? The bombshell claims set to rock the royal family.
Petrol price plummet where you can find fuel for less than $1 a litre.
It's no monkey business. The safari park where baboons are armed with knives.
And before weather, he's jammed with some of the world's best-known musicians. Meet 11-year-old Taj from the Gold Coast, who's on track to become a star.
Seven News brought to you by Optus.
So in the kitchen there can be a massive loop.
you always remember your first date.
People will talk about the stars aligning and a few sparks flying at the moment.
He's found the one. Or has he?
We're here. I feel at home already. I've sort of already marked my territory.
Tonight, 7:30, one girl will go home.
Who have you chosen?
New farmer wants a wife. Tonight, 7:30 on 7.
Cross River Rail will change the way we travel across the whole of southeast Queensland. It begins at Bogger Road and is Brisbane's new underground, featuring a new station at the Gabba and a new station in the heart of our CBD at Albert Street, a new Grand Central station at Roma Street, and a new station open all year round right here at the Echo. Construction has well and truly started. Search Cross River Rail for everything you need to know. Authorised by the Queensland Government, Brisbane.
Alan has seen the whole world. Time to discover what's nearby. Trivago compares hotel deals from major booking sites, making it easy to find your ideal offer nearby. Time to explore Australia. Hotel Trivago.
Performance you've never seen before. Safety you've never seen before. This is the SUV you've never seen before. The all-new MG HS.
The King Living Australian Design Sale ends Sunday. Now's the time to save up to 50% on the best in Australian furniture design.
So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King Furniture?
Visit us at kingliving.com.
Here's Lisa. She got no assistance lifting this heavy bag of cement and sprang a leak. But Lisa has Poise. New Poise Thin and Discreet Extra Pads are 45% thinner than Poise Extra Pads with the same protection. It takes Poise.
Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
The price of unleaded E10 has dropped below $1 a litre at one service station on Brisbane's south side. Drivers queued at the 7-Eleven at Ghidella to fill up on the discounted E10. The servo is also selling unleaded at $1.02 a litre. That's 10 cents lower than the average selling price across Brisbane. Royal commentators say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex face permanent exile from the family after the publication of extracts from a bombshell book. It outlines rifts with other royals and details of their relationship, but the couple denies they helped write it.
4 months post-Megxit, chances of a royal reunion are slim, with details of the couple's departure laid bare, claiming their decision to leave wasn't Meghan's, who was willing to do whatever it takes to make it work. Finding Freedom talks of the growing rift between brothers, which started when Harry and Meghan met. William advised his sibling to take as much time as you need to get to know this girl. Harry found it condescending. He was already in a trance with Meghan. Friends who questioned it due to race or snobbery were immediately cut off. By March this year, the Sussexes and Cambridges were barely speaking. Here, Meghan accuses Kate of ignoring her.
I've spoken to Kate. I've met her many, many times. She's really not a vindictive or aggressive person. So I don't see the character that's been painted of her in this book.
A spokesman for the Sussexes says Harry and Meghan weren't interviewed for the book. They didn't contribute directly, but it was done with their knowledge, the support of their friends, and they haven't denied any of the stories. Due to the extent of details, some have dubbed it the gospel, according to Harry and Meghan.
So let's just hope that the marriage works out, because I think that Harry has burnt a lot of bridges when it comes to the royal family back home.
The full biography is out next month. In London, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
China has officially closed the US consulate in the southwest city of Chengdu. The American flag was pulled down, the plaque chiselled off, and the building's signage covered up as gathering crowds lit firecrackers in the street outside. The closure was swift retaliation after the US closed China's consulate in Houston, accusing staff there of espionage.
A rare tornado has swept through the English countryside. Stunned locals filmed as the twister churned up debris. Homeowners are reporting thousands of dollars in damage done in little more than 30 seconds.
They have a reputation for monkey business, but there are now reports baboons in this English safari park are armed. Visitors claim they've seen them with knives. One even had a chainsaw. The park suspects tourists are giving them weapons for a laugh.
Never really thought of chainsaws as funny. No.
No, not funny.
A Queensland man has had the surprise of his life. He's just been reunited with his dog 4 years after it ran away during a fire. The incredible story is next.
Dicing with death on the Bruce Highway, the act of sheer stupidity endangering the lives of motorists.
The popular Aussie swimwear brand saved from going under.
And after sport, she's the most talked about woman in the country. We tracked down the customer dubbed Karen from Bunnings.
The vigilante residents stopping hoons in their tracks on southeast streets.
Smoke. The street was full of smoke.
Recording them on camera, seizing their cars.
Look out.
The exclusive video of the neighbourhood sting, only on 7 News, coming up.
Captain Strand, we want you to come down to Texas to build an entire station from scratch.
Okay, but I choose the firefighters. This crew can't just be good. Have you got what it takes? They gotta be the best.
This scene is medical, so I run the call. So you do what I say, Captain.
Have you got what it takes to fight, to rule?
Rob Lowe.
Let's show them what we got.
And Liv Tyler.
I think a man should have to earn his cowboy boots.
Get ready for the new action thrill ride. 911 Lone Star. Tonight, 8:30 on 7.
Hi all, Darren here. I'm back with another great value meal option for you. These are my tandoori chicken thighs with baked pilaf. Coming in at under $5 a head, so you can feed a family of 4 for under 20 bucks, and all the ingredients from your local supermarket. Okay, first we're gonna make a really simple marinade. I've got some thick yogurt here, about 125 grams, and I've also got some tandoori paste. We're gonna mix these together. We're gonna take one of these chicken thighs and we're just going to cut them and place them into the bowl with the marinade, and we're going to coat all of the chicken, and then we're going to add some frozen cauliflower. Off to the fridge, marinade now for about half an hour. So we're going to start with our baked pilaf. First of all, I've got some coriander here, and I'm just going to pick the leaves off the top because I want to use the stalks in the rice. With these stalks, I'm just going to chop them up finely. Add 500 millilitres of chicken stock to a saucepan. I'm going to add some turmeric powder and 1 bay leaf. And I'm also just going to crush some cardamom pods, and I'll also put those into the pot. Add sliced red onion. And then next, I've got an orange. Peel some strips using a potato peeler. Now we're also going to use the juice of the orange. We want to get as much value as possible out of all of our ingredients. Bring that to a boil and then leave it on the side to reserve. And then weigh off 300 grams of basmati rice. I'm going to rinse it under cold water, and then I'm just going to chuck the rice into a baking dish. Next, the reserve stock. I'm going to add all of those bits in there. Next, we're going to add our chopped coriander stalks and also some frozen peas. I'm just going to lay a sheet of baking paper over the top of the rice, and then I'm going to cover in foil and place it in our preheated oven to bake for about 35 minutes. Time to get the chicken into a roasting tray. I've got just spreading the chicken pieces out nice and even. Okay, the rice has been in the oven for about 20 minutes, so now it's time to cook the chicken. Chicken is cooked. Oh wow, it smells incredible. All we need to do now is add some coriander and some extra yogurt. What a feast. This is my tandoori chicken thighs with baked pilaf, and the best part is it's under $5 a head. For more recipes like this, head to coles.com.au and enjoy your cooking.
In a decade-long war against hoons, the residents of Forestdale are finally taking the upper hand. A neighbourhood network of security cameras is helping police get the drivers and their cars off the street.
There is no time restriction on stupidity.
You hear them early in the morning or sort of very, very late at night.
Or even in broad daylight, and it drives locals mad.
It's happening more and more. They're fed up.
Just in the last 60 days, we've had 66 reports.
Over the past decade, one resident's camera alone has recorded countless hoons drifting in and out of Forestdale Drive, filling the leafy Logan suburb with smoke and scorn.
It's a bit of a scourge, being woken at all hours of the night time. Not only that, the danger to the community.
There's a lot of young children here who ride bikes around and people going for walks. So, yeah, you could easily go off the road and straight across the footpath.
Plenty have come close.
We've got kids, the whole neighbourhood's full of kids, so anger.
After witnessing this outside her family home earlier this month.
By the time we had come out, smoke, the street was full of smoke.
A week later, this P-plater was caught on video doing burnouts 3 times in 3 days.
Have captured the most recent ones, which you can see behind us.
The alleged driver, a 19-year-old man who lives on the same street, now left with a court date and no car. The Commodore allegedly responsible for all of this has been impounded for the next 3 months. It's the 3rd vehicle Browns Plains Police have seized in just the past week, thanks to video from residents.
They're going to assist us because they're just sick of it.
And they have a message for anyone thinking of following in these tyre prints.
Look out.
Because they'll be watching. Mac Lyon, 7 News.
Shocking video is circulating online of a young man performing a dangerous stunt on the roof of a car in Cairns. The man was filmed on the roof of the sedan as it was being driven at speed along the Bruce Highway on Saturday.
This is an act of sheer, absolute stupidity. I can confirm that police are conducting an investigation in relation to the footage.
Police are asking anyone who saw the man on top of the car to come forward.
Queensland's shopping landscape is shrinking. A designer store is pulling the pin on Carindale Shopping Centre, while 99% of retail survivors say they won't be hiring more staff. The jobs market is bleak, but one sector is expecting a boom.
Sass and goodbye. On Wednesday, the designer will abandon Westfield Carindale, but not its staff, who will move to other stores. At Toombul,
it was really good to come back.
Aaron Skinner is a barista and babysitter at Studio Solo & Co. Trade is 80% of pre-COVID.
At least all my stuff is back to work, and we have about 13.
Only 1% of Queensland retailers say they'll hire more staff. So, who has the pandemic punished the most? It could be the same group who bore the brunt of the GFC, young people. The Productivity Commission has studied workforce data for a decade. People aged 20 to 34, even those with degrees, had to take jobs they didn't want and stay for longer for less money than previous generations.
Waves of students entering the job market, whether it's entering after high school or vet or uni, they're going to find that there's fewer job opportunities.
Where are the opportunities? Civil construction, cybersecurity, information technology.
You would expect those salaries going into the area of $200 an hour or 6 figures, early professionals in these areas.
It needs 1.4 million people within a decade to help others work from home. Erin Edwards, 7 News.
Australian swimwear label Sea Folly will be saved despite going into voluntary administration last month. It's likely to be sold back to its original owners, an American private equity firm, despite more than 80 bids from other interested buyers.
Diabetes is becoming more common, according to Queensland's leading researchers, and those with it suffer more than others if they catch COVID-19. To find out why, a group of Brisbane scientists needs help from people who've recovered from the deadly virus.
Nicole Beasley is a travel agent. When COVID-19 hit, her business suffered, and so did her health. She was on her way home from a ski trip in the US when she fell ill with the virus.
Coming home the plane, I slept the whole way, and the morning I landed, I had the scratchy throat and a fever. Oh dear, I'm in trouble.
Now she's healthy again and ready to fight back, volunteering to be part of a study run by UQ and Marta Research.
I'm happy to do whatever I can to help with this crisis.
The study is looking at people with and without diabetes, comparing how they react to COVID-19.
People with diabetes have a really different immune response. And we're seeing this already in clinical studies with patients with COVID, that they tend to suffer from more severe disease.
To find out why, researchers need blood and urine from
people with and without diabetes who've had COVID-19 and recovered.
So we'll be looking at key cells in your immune response. We'll also be looking at antibodies.
The findings will then be used to make sure any vaccine developed works for people with diabetes too.
There's no limit on how many people can take part in this study, but researchers say the more volunteers they get,
the more reliable the results.
To find out how you can be a volunteer, head to our Facebook page. Tristan Vorius, 7 News.
There's been an incredible reunion in Townsville. Mustafa Amar and his dog Wendizer are together 4 years after the American bulldog ran in fear from a fire that destroyed the family home. Amazingly, he was found in a park just 1 kilometre from home, a microchip helping reunite the pair.
Hey, boy. He's always going to stay with me, always with me, and if he goes, I go with him.
Mustafa says he doesn't know who's had him since 2016, but he seems to be in good health.
The wagging tail says it all.
Yeah, I think so.
It could change the lives of thousands of Queenslanders. The Gold Coast, home to Australian first surgery, helping save the vision of cataract patients.
A mother and daughter sentenced over a supermarket toilet paper brawl.
Deadly pyjamas, the warning for parents over a highly flammable kids' nightie.
And meet the Gold Coast schoolboy who's been busy jamming with some of the world's best.
This is a very difficult thing for me to judge. It was extraordinary.
You moved me.
And that's just the start.
Let's do it.
Gave me goosebumps. America's Got Talent on the new night, Tuesday, 7:30 on 7.
Sam is fearless at studying tiger sharks. Just don't ask him to fix a leaking tap. It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
Airtasker.
Value tastes better when it's freshly made. Subway 6-inch subs. All this for only $5 with the Everyday Value range. All day, every day at Subway.
The LDV T60 4x4 diesel is ready for anything. And now it's ready for more. From just $28,990, you'll also get over $2,000 worth of accessories. To enjoy more, visit your nearest dealer now.
Tired of cleansers that leave skin dull? The power of micellar with the glow of rosewater. New Garnier Micellar Rosewater Cleanser. Micelles lift dirt like a magnet. In one swipe removes makeup and reveals the glow. New Micellar Rosewater by Garnier. Naturally.
You'll fall in love with YouFood's ever-changing menu of chef-inspired meals, snacks and drinks, packed full of locally sourced Aussie farm fresh ingredients, delivered safely to your door 7 days a week. It's healthy eating made easy.
Why join Bupa? Because you'll get 6 weeks free on eligible products. That's 6 weeks free, because right now every saving counts. Bupa, because life happens. T's and C's apply. Call now to find out more.
Aren't diamonds for, like, milestone occasions? Oh, why wait for one of those? Hint, hint, babe.
Value tastes better when it's freshly made. Subway 6-inch subs. All this for only $5 with the Everyday Value range. All day, every day at Subway.
Creating something that feels just right. That's an art. Precisely crafted and beautifully finished. All new Mazda CX-30. Everything just right.
To finance and the share market inched higher after a seesaw session, closing up 0.3%. The ASX 200 adding 20 points. The mining sector performed well due to the soaring price of gold. Newcrest Mining added $1.80 and Saracen is up 5.2%. The Australian dollar remains strong, buying 71 US cents. And petrol prices are starting to hike, so fill up the tank now, but only from a cheap station. The average price of unleaded is $1.12 in Brisbane. A mother and daughter filmed brawling over toilet paper at a Sydney Woolworths have been found guilty of a fray. The pair had 8 packets loaded in their trolley. They started fighting when another customer took one during the height of the pandemic panic buying. The pair claimed self-defence, but the magistrate likened their behaviour to football players involved in an on-field brawl. Both were sentenced to good behaviour bonds. The daughter, Miriam, recorded a conviction. A Gold Coast eye surgeon is giving seniors back their sight safer and quicker than ever. He's the first in the country to use a minimally invasive technique on cataract patients who are seeing remarkable results.
At the Musgrave Hills Bowls Club, they're all keeping an eye on Terry Grounds, one of the first in the country to have revolutionary cataract surgery. And at 75, his vision is now better than 20/20.
I can play bowls a lot better now. Yeah, I can see well. I don't know how to play bowls any better, but I can see what mistakes I'm making now.
Gold Coast ophthalmologist Dr Nick Andrew is the only surgeon in the country with one of these.
This new technology, we're not having any ultrasound energy, no laser energy. We're not having sharp instruments inside the eye.
Developed by Carl Zeiss, the MyLoop can be used through a tiny 1.5mm keyhole incision, making surgery less painful and recovery time much faster.
You can take Panadol and that sort of thing after the operation, but I didn't even need that. And 2 days later, look, I could really see well.
It's analogous to cutting a block of cheese, a cheese wheel with a wire. It's very simple.
Cataracts are the #1 cause of preventable blindness, with over 65s most at risk.
It's not something that happens overnight.
Tina Benton underwent the surgery this afternoon with cataracts in both eyes.
I'd just like 20/20 vision.
One of 200,000 Australians set to benefit every year as we see this device rolled out across the country.
It's safe, it's a smooth instrument, so in terms of success rate, very high.
On the Gold Coast, Amanda Abate, 7 News.
Consumer watchdog the ACCC has released terrifying vision of a children's nightie easily catching alight. The Monster High Ghouls nightie purchased on eBay poses a serious risk to children and has been recalled 3 times over the past 5 years. It comes with a warning against buying nightwear labelled high fire danger for kids, especially now in winter where children are likely to sit in front of a heater. 5 years after changing its name, Brisbane radio station B105 is back on the airwaves. The retro rebranding coincides with a new focus to bring feel-great pop songs to listeners.
Stab Abby and Matt on B105.
Hey! While the logo and sound is changing, the lineup of presenters remains the same.
Coming up, anti-mask madness. The video is sparking debate across Australia. So what are your rights? And meet the 11-year-old Gold Coast guitar hero making some very famous friends across the globe. But match reviewers are making enemies, Webby.
With Lions fans at least, Sharyn. Hello, everyone. A forward faces suspension for something even the opposition coach thinks he's innocent of. More changes at the Broncos. Brisbane set for their 3rd fullback in as many weeks. And plenty more pain in Spain. Riders get up close and personal with each other and the bitumen at the MotoGP.
It's come down to this play. Struck it well, struck it well. Hit it hard.
It's the history-making event.
What a giant kick.
And it starts with 4 big nights in a row. Wednesday, 2 powerhouses clash. Thursday, Demons versus Power, leading to a massive Friday and Saturday doubleheader. Starting Wednesday. Go to the footy on 7 Mate.
You'll fall in love with Youfood's ever-changing menu of chef-inspired meals, snacks and drinks. Packed full of locally sourced Aussie farm fresh ingredients. Delivered safely to your door 7 days a week. It's healthy eating made easy.
Outside, it's something to look at. But inside, it's a space to be. A space we fit our lives into. A space that brings us closer. That spans generations. Where we go to let go. In a Mazda, this space is 100 years in the making. And summed up in 2 words. Zum zum.
I love a sunburnt country. A land of sweeping plains, of ragged mountain ranges, of droughts and flooding rains. I love her far horizons. I love her jewel sea. Her beauty and her terror, the wide brown land for me.
With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, we guarantee all the repairs we authorise.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks. Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
So do I pay tax on JobKeeper?
I'm working from home. What can I claim?
We've all got tax questions this year. Thankfully, at H&R Block, we have the answers.
Let's get you started.
Maximise your tax refund. Book an appointment today.
Time for a little break? Head to Macca's and get 4 of your favourite classic burgers in our new McBurger box for just $16.95. Or warm up with our range of hot and tasty pies for just $1.50 each.
You'll fall in love with YouFood's ever-changing menu of chef-inspired meals, snacks and drinks. Packed full of locally sourced Aussie farm fresh ingredients. Delivered safely to your door 7 days a week. It's healthy eating made easy.
At Priceline Pharmacy, we've got everything you need to live winter well. Like 40% off the new Dr. Lewin's sensitive skincare range. Plus, spend $69 or more across participating skincare brands and receive a free skincare gift bag. On now at Priceline.
The Broncos fullback merry-go-round has spun again, with Darius Boyd set to revert to the role he was deemed unfit for as Anthony Milford battles injury. David Fifita is also due to return to the team just days after signing with the Gold Coast Titans.
Rubbing salt in the wound, showing Broncos coaches the incredible speed and power they've let roar down the M1.
Disappointed, but obviously really happy for David. You know, it's a big opportunity for him and his family.
How big?
You know, $1.2 million is a lot of money to come in your bank account.
More guys with strike power to come in. That's obviously good for the club, and the coaching staff have done their job, and that is their job.
But even Pangai admits there's more than just cash on offer.
He's got his money, and they're building a good team down there as well.
He is set to wear a Broncos jersey again, though, in line to face the Sharks this Friday after 12 weeks without a game. Jake Turpin also tipped to return from a leg fracture, but as always with Brisbane, there's fresh problems. Anthony Milford's hamstring strain likely to rule him out for a week, as Darius Boyd trained in his place, doing extensive bomb-catching practice.
Dubs is a very experienced fullback. Yeah, good at organising the defensive line. He just brings a lot of experience back there.
Dearden just happy to be playing again after being an exclusive trainer all season.
It was frustrating at times not being able to play footy on the weekends and having to watch all the games.
Phil Gould's frustrations with rugby league are well known. Now he'll be able to do something about it, set to become an NRL employee.
He will do special project. The Commission hasn't approved this yet, so I better be careful, but they've approved one project, and there'll be various projects.
His first task, creating a new national pathway for young players to join the NRL. Chris Gary, 7 News.
The Lions have until lunchtime tomorrow to challenge a 2-match ban on key forward Dan McStay, charged with careless high contact in last night's narrow win over Melbourne. The Metricon heartstopper could prove costly for an incident even the opposition coach thought his player was to blame.
Neville Jetta collected high. It didn't look good, but it did look avoidable.
He led with his head, he drove with his head. It's really unfortunate that that's a habit.
You know, he's an experienced player. He's done it for years, and you know, he probably got one wrong tonight and got a pretty heavy knock.
Brisbane are already resigned to losing Daniel Rich with a hamstring strain for Friday's Bombers clash, the first of 3 in 8 days. But they were able to do this without him.
Now Charlie can go to work. Charlie doesn't work. He goes to play, and it's devastating when he does.
But instead of revving their engines, the Lions almost blew them. A 19-point lead in the third quarter. It'll be their last goal for the match, while Melbourne booted 3 in the final term.
Oh, the D's are back!
I didn't think it was a get-out-of-jail win. You know, we had more shots than they did in the last quarter and didn't take our chances.
Neither did the Rain Man. Although Cam Rayner's leap epitomises the confidence this team's playing with, led by a Brownlow favourite who finished with 33 touches, 5 more than his nearest rival.
I'm really proud of the guys. A lot of the other boys do a lot of the grunt work, and I'm just lucky enough to get the footy a little bit.
And look who's picked up a Sharyn, banned for life from the NRL, playing Premier League soccer in Mackay. AFL's Ben Barber's third code in 18 months. He kicked 13 goals playing for the Eastern Swans reserves and seniors over the weekend. Ben Davis, 7 News.
Tim Zoo has stormed into enemy lines to base himself on the Gold Coast for a month ahead of his blockbuster bout with Jeff Horn. Fearing a New South Wales border closure this week, Tim moved his entire fight camp to the tourist strip as he tries to upset the pride of Queensland.
Not an interruption. I find it more useful for myself. I like to get out of my comfort zone. That's where you excel as an athlete. I hope he's taking it serious because I'm taking it very serious.
It's exactly 4 weeks until they square off in Townsville's new stadium. Queensland's Jack Miller was one of 8 riders to come to grief in a chaotic Andalusian MotoGP in Spain. The Aussie star slid off with 15 laps to go, but his tumble was tame compared to what happened to the South African Brad Binder.
As it stands. Oh, vicious stuff. Oh, dearie me, what an eventful day for...
Fabio Quartararo went back-to-back. 41-year-old legend Valentino Rossi was third. And that's our sport, Sharyn.
Thank you, Evie. Politicians, civil libertarians and law experts have all dismissed claims Australians have a right to ignore health-related orders during the COVID pandemic. A woman has given the idea prominence by insisting Bunnings allow her to shop without a face mask.
Heading to Bunnings.
I'm just asking if you've got a mask. Well, it's clear I don't.
Not for a tin of paint or a new drill.
Will you just after that today?
No, we're going to go and have a wander.
But to test her human rights to not wear a mask.
You're not authorised by the Australian government to even question me.
As I said, it's just a condition of entry.
I don't care, it doesn't apply to me.
I just got great admiration for the staff. They were so cool and so reasonable.
Christened online as Karen, today unmasked as Melbourne woman Kerry Nash. She recorded her Bunnings odyssey.
It's not a crime.
It's a contravention.
It's not a crime.
Tested Australia Post as well.
I do not need a mask.
But at home today wanted nothing to do with cameras.
You are not allowed onto her property.
One more comment about human rights. Honestly, it's about human life.
This Human Rights Commissioner says mask orders in a pandemic don't infringe human rights. They protect the rights of others.
Your right to swing your fist ends with your neighbour's nose.
Do not consent to these draconian laws.
On social media, many cast them as a symbol of government control. If other states mandate masks, they might cause similar anger, even as civil libertarians back the laws in a pandemic.
It's one of the rare kinds of situations where restrictions on fundamental freedoms can be appropriate.
Be they gone.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
His dreams of becoming a rock star could soon come true. Next, meet the Queensland boy dubbed a guitar prodigy. How 11-year-old Taj is attracting global fame.
And at the moment it's 17 degrees in Ipswich. These winds are set to ease. I'll have the forecast coming up next.
There's a reason we say nobody knows Brisbane.
Like 7 News.
Contact tracing is now underway.
The Southeast prepares
Brisbane's best team.
7 News can exclusively reveal
it's welcome news for families.
Our job is to report to you.
For you, every night.
Nobody knows news like 7.
Brisbane's best team. 7 News can exclusively reveal. Our job is to report to you.
For you, every night.
Nobody knows news like 7.
We're coming to you live from the scene. Tell us what you've got there. Toilet paper?
Nah, just dinner stuff.
Right. You must have paid an unprecedented price for that during these unprecedented times.
Nah, they're from Aldi. Prices are always low.
Let's just go.
Whatever happens, our low prices are here to stay. Aldi. Good. Different.
So we've got like car payments, rent.
You losers budgeting again?
We can finance if we want to.
We can leave our friends behind.
Get on top of your money with ANZ's Financial Wellbeing Check-In.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online.
Okay, done.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
But it sure is worth it. Lilydale.
The LDV T60 4x4 diesel is ready for anything. And now it's ready for more. From just $28,990, you'll also get over $2,000 worth of accessories. To enjoy more, visit your nearest dealer now.
Why don't you come on? Pleasures all night, never getting old. If you're looking for me, I'll be dancing in my own way. We're coming to you live from the scene. Tell us what you've got there. Toilet paper?
Nah, just dinner stuff.
Right. You must have paid an unprecedented price for that during these unprecedented times.
Nah, they're from Aldi. Prices are always low.
Let's just go.
Whatever happens, our low prices are here to stay. Aldi. Good. Different.
Two brothers, one girl.
I should stay around more often.
Fine by me.
Oh.
This is not going to end well.
I'm attracted to Tane.
You sure it hasn't got something to do with the muscles?
Here we go.
It's about to get a whole lot worse.
Coming back?
Busted.
Home and Away, next up on 7.
In today's main stories, a Sydney man has been arrested after fleeing from the Gold Coast airport to avoid COVID testing. A new COVID cluster has emerged at Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital. A baby, 2 parents and 1 other patient have tested positive. And wild weather is lashing Australia's east coast, flooding areas of New South Wales and bringing strong wind gusts to the Gold Coast.
He may only be 11, but he's already a rock star in the making. Taj Farrant has shared the stage with some of the world's biggest names. He's now recording his own music on the Gold Coast.
What started with an AC/DC concert when he was 7 years old quickly became an obsession. 4 years on, Taj Farrant is shredding like a pro.
Just practice, some practice and a little bit more practice.
Music does run in the family. Dad Brandon is a drummer, but such talent?
I'd like to say it's me, but it's from another planet, I think. He's just, he's crazy.
Try being his guitar teacher.
I know he's better than me. He can do licks that I can't do.
Taj has already starred on Australia's Got Talent and The Ellen Show. Shared the spotlight with singer Rob Thomas and even the master, Carlos Santana. Now Taj has written and recorded his very first song on the Gold Coast.
Well, my dream is to be touring around the world and just playing to humans.
He's well and truly on his way. Sally Eels, 7 News.
I think I might sell my guitar.
Yeah, I
11.
can play, can't he? My goodness.
Too good for me.
Makes you feel inadequate.
A little bit. Weather now, Tony. We're about to warm up again.
Yes, we are, Max. It's a little hard to follow that, anyone. Hello again, everyone. Today's cold winds will ease out a bit overnight, so it will be a colder night, but some warmer days on the way. Today it was a sunny start, then some cloud moved in the afternoon. When combined with those winds, well, it was pretty chilly out in the elements. Brisbane dropped to 13 overnight, a top of 19, 11 up to 20 in Ipswich. But if you really want some wind chill, well, Toowoomba is the place to be, a top of 14 degrees, but it felt like less than 6 degrees for most of the time. Onto the satellite, those winds are being driven by this strengthening low on the New South Wales coast. It's bringing heavy rain and huge surf south of the border, but that air dries out as it wraps around in southern parts of Queensland. Plenty of cloud for us, just the odd shower around the southern border, not too much actually recorded. Tomorrow the low both weakens and it moves a bit further south, so our winds will ease. Combined with a bit more sunshine returning, it will feel noticeably warmer for us. Around the capital, showers and windy in Sydney and cool across southeastern states. Tops in the low to mid-teens for Hobart, Adelaide and Melbourne. Back home to Queensland, a different story in the tropics. Sunny skies and warmer. A forecast top of 28 degrees in Cairns, 26 in Townsville, 25 in Mount Isa. Heading south, some very patchy frost through inland spots. Cloud lingering through the day over the southern downs, but otherwise sunny. -2 up to 20 degrees in Roma. Back to the southeast, some early high cloud, maybe a colourful sunrise, then some blue sky during the day. And with lighter winds, it will feel warmer. A cooler night though, 7 up to 22 degrees in Ipswich. Across the suburbs, a few single-figure minimums on the board here, 9 to 21 at Kenmore. On the water, west-northwesterlies to 20 knots early. They'll swing more west-southwest late in the day. So in Brisbane, a mostly sunny Tuesday ahead, 12 tonight, a warmer top of 22 degrees, very nice. Then looking further ahead to the 7-day forecast and a dry week on the way. 24 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, even more blue sky as well. In Ipswich, Thursday looks warmest, a top of 25 degrees. Then a bit more cloud returning for next weekend, dropping back around 22 degrees by Saturday. Gold Coasters, that extra cloud could bring a brief shower around Friday or Saturday, tops of 21 degrees, mostly dry. And on the Sunshine Coast, sunny tops of 22 degrees continuing until Thursday. Then the odd shower also starting to filter in around Friday or Saturday, but it won't be anything like the rain we've had over the past few days.
Thanks, Tony. And that's all from us this Monday. Thanks for your company.
From all the team, good night.